Welcome to the Authentic Wife Show. I'm Beth Rolls, a conscious marriage coach and author of The Authentic Wife, Uncaging Yourself Through Marriage. I help driven moms who love their kids more than they hate their marriage use the conflict in their relationship to become their most authentic selves so they can create a relationship and life they don't want to escape from. Stop waiting for your husband to evolve and start making every day feel like a vacation. You can find my book, tons of free resources, and Happily Ever After, the only marriage-saving coaching program, on my website, theauthenticwifeandmom.com. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get started. Today's guest is Michaell Magrutsche, an Austrian-Californian multimedia artist, educator, author of 5 art-related books, podcaster, coach, creative advisor, and former Newport Beach, California Arts Commissioner. Our conversation explores the discovery of our human potential through the contrast of man-made systems. Michaell, I am so happy to have you here. I love what you're doing with encouraging people to step away from so much doing and really find themselves through being. So how did you come into doing what you're doing now? How did you come into this being work and this artist?
Being a master doer.
Well,
Hi, Beth. Thank you for allowing me here to be here. I was a master doer. The reason was I was a sick child and I couldn't get to school till 7. And then I got the second whammy, which was dyslexia and dysgraphia. So I couldn't comprehend and I couldn't replicate. So I'm not a copier. I was right away from my thing. I couldn't replicate what other humans did. And I was unaware what happens. And I tried through shame and whatever, because the self-shaming is the worst. I mean, I was never bullied because I'm a very strong person. Was never bullied or anything, but the fact of you are DNA driven to belong to the tribe, right? You want to belong to family, tribe, whatever, and then you're the ugly duckling, and then you don't fit. And so many people feel like this, and because it's a metaphor, the ugly duckling is you can't fit. You can't really fit into because everybody's unique. Everybody has a different DNA. And I was speaker of the class, but I failed the class. So it wasn't like I was speaker of the class and everybody loved me and I got through. But I'm now conscious of this. I wasn't conscious of it at all because I tried to survive one day after the other, and be accepted or be a part of the human experience. And so I tried to overcompensate everything. So I did more homework, I had more tutors, but I couldn't beat my own quote unquote ugliness, right? I couldn't beat it. But it wasn't my ugliness, it was my strengths. See, I see that now, and after 50 years, I recognized, oh my God, the fact that I couldn't fit into systems is exactly my part of humanity that I have to contribute to make humanity aware or others aware that we live already in a metaverse. We experience humanity through a system. We are born in hospitals. Everything is a system, right? In the country that we are, in the language that we are in, it's all systematic. So we don't need to get in another metaverse. We need to be aware first that we are in a metaverse, because we are not a tribe. We are not a humans to humans. We are basically experience humanity through systems. And guess who created systems? We did. They are human created. So that's where I think the most confusion comes today, that people are not aware of that we experience, and doing is what you said is exactly that. The doing is the system thing. You know, if you're doing right, you're good in the system.
Right.
If you don't, but it has nothing to do with the human. In nature, the elephant and the ant don't have different values because they exist. They have value, right?
Yes.
The ant as well as the elephant. It doesn't matter if the elephant is more beautiful or bigger. There is no judgment of that. Not because judgment is bad, because nature doesn't make mistakes. And everything, every fungi, every living being has a purpose in nature, and it constantly alters and adapts. It constantly changes. And humans are the same way. We need sleep. We need relaxation. We have periods. Women have periods. Men have periods too. But but we have biorhythms. We have cycles. Nature has seasons. And all systems are based on financial principles, which is human created. Yeah. And financial principles, even a religion, even a nonprofit, they all need the financial principles. And therefore, systems are very static. They're not fluid like humans are and nature is. And that this dissonance between static and fluid makes us do more because we feel like, because we don't know, we're not aware, oh, we're part of nature. We think we need to save nature. We are part of nature.
That's right.
We don't need to save the nature. It's not another system that we have to save. If we kill each other with an atomic war, whatever, nature just keep going.
It'll be fine.
Just grows over us. It grows over us. Yeah. But we are so blinded that we think, oh, we have to save nature, like that another system that we have to save, like the homeless or whatever. We don't. We are part of it, and we get lost in that,
I love this because this is really the main thing that I did. I saved my marriage, and the thing that I had to do was let go of that system that I had been conditioned with about how he should be and how he should behave, because he has ADHD with hyperfocus and he does things differently on his own timeline. And he's a beautiful, wonderful person, but I was really trying to make him fit into that acceptable mold because I had all that pressure on myself, and that's how I was speaking to myself. What does art have to do with getting out of this system? How did that help you?
Just by default. By default, I found, and I was nowhere again. I was in the moment, like you were, with your husband. You were in the moment, and in the moment, you just could react like where you conditioned were. Women are different than men. Bullshit. Of course they are different, but the woman and man are humans. Every race is a human. Every sexuality is a human. That's your focus. It's a different one. No human is the same. So therefore, any qualification or conditioning or stereotyping of what a woman is, what a man is, there's women that are way stronger than men, and there's men that are more feminine than any woman can be. So all the classification and stereotyping are wrong. I mean, they are holding to a certain degree, but if you put them as a whole in the whole humanity, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Well, even from country to country, they're wrong.
I think in some aspects of it, what that just made me think of is like, as a girl, there is something in us that is so motivated to be the good girl and to perfectly follow the system. Whereas I think maybe I don't know if it was easy for him or not, but it's like my husband had no problem being
if he has ADHD or something, then he doesn't, because I didn't either, but because I'm neurodiverse, so and I always knew I was dyslexic, but because I was so extreme dyslexic, but I was never understand how that fits in. Now the research and now it makes sense. But I think our men have two. I want to calm you down. Men have, you want to be the good boy.
Okay.
You want to be the good boy. Look at all the soldiers. All the soldiers
Right.
are the nicest human beings that are, on earth. They actually want to do something very essential,
Mm.
protect the tribe because they have strengths. They want to protect the tribe. It's very, very, what you say? It's almost like a metaphor, but it's a function, a human function. The tribe, we help each other out because power is in the inclusion, not in the exclusion. And then they get system defined because it's not natural to fight each other when you don't even know it. It's okay when you have a disagreement and somebody dies. It's not okay, but it can happen.
Mine, yeah.
But it's not. You're going to somebody that you don't know, has a family too, and works on the stereotypes. So now you say, oh, why does woman want to be good, men want to be good? And there's two things. The DNA, we want to be at the tribe, right? And humans are in general benevolent unless they are distorted by conditioning through systems. When you learn how you are as a human through a system, then you are falsehood, because from 0 to 7, you learn how the world is. You learn. So that's why you're not born as a grown-up. You're born, what is my essence in the physical manifestation? What does it take? And you learn that from 0 to 7, right? Or 8. Yeah.
Right.
So you say, okay, this is what I have to do. And that's where the conditioning happenings, because one of our superpowers is adaptation. There's 3 superpowers: creativity, human dialogue, healthy human dialogue, so the communication between us, and then the adaptability. And because we adapt, we think, okay, in order to survive, it's even deeper than DNA. The survival is to adapt to what it takes to be in your essence as a human being, as a woman, as a young woman, as an African woman, as a European woman, and the same for men. So you have all these classification that you condition yourself. And I want to go back to your question about art. In art is so powerful because what you practice with art is bringing your non-physical into the physical. So you have an inspiration of a color. You had the inspiration to do a podcast, right? So it's a thought, and you bring that into the physical. How you do it, everybody does it different because we're all different. So bringing your essence from the non-physical into the physical, that's not spiritual or hocus pocus. It just is. You can follow me, right? I'm not out of space and time. So you bring the non-physical into the physical, and because you're unique. And I always, like so many youngins, that when they grow up, right, you escape in film, music, and all that stuff. And I did also create, and when I was 30, I realized, oh my God, every job I did I don't need to be called an artist from the society. I know I'm being an artist, because all my 30 years, art not only helped me survive, helped me being okay being a human, but also in the art community, it's about inclusion. When you create a theater piece, there's leads, but it's very dependent on everybody to work together to make that piece gel. And so I found in the arts community, and that's why in the artist community are the most neurodiverse people, because they feel so archetypically. Art and art creation, it's very powerful, not because what system says about the art, not the art product, but the art creation. It's the creation process that reveals so much about your humanity. I have 0 education. Everything I'm blobbering here is that I discovered or read from creating art and, being with art and being in the artist community. And that's why 97% of artists, but they're not aware of that. And through my dyslexia, I think I became aware of that. They're focusing on the product. And that's why 97% of artists are poor in the world, around the poverty level. So
they're around the poverty level because why? Because they're focusing
on the
on the
product. They're focused like everybody else. For you want to likes. You're not focused. You're not milking the moment. The moment is you and me right now. I'm not thinking about I have to pay bills and do this. Milk the moment right now. Make it as intense as you can, and really dive deep in now. I couldn't dive deep if I wasn't in the moment. If I think about, thinking about the bills and my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whatever, if I think about these things, I'm getting crazy, and it's very shallow. And this is what the problem is. Systemically, we're all shallow because we try to get from one day to another.
Yeah, we just live at the surface. Every one of my new clients has a problem with presence, just like I did. And it's just, we think about is the past and the future. That's true about the art, because I know when I wrote my book or when I make a new course or something, my first inclination is, well, now it's done. Like, here you go. And the experience was making it, coming back to it and promoting it and helping people see it and find it, and like to actually make money from that is a challenge, because we just want to keep staying.
And there's so much product out there. I mean, even if you're at the best, see, it has the quality. It has nothing to do with the quantity, but in the system promotes copying and promotes quantity. So it never is about, oh my God, Beth, you're a unique one-of-one person, human being. You are counting because you're just existing. So I don't need to have 100,000 likes and 1 million book sales to say, Beth, you're worthy.
Right.
And I think that the differentiation of worth and system value is essential, because system always says, what am I going to do in the future to get there? You can't, because there's so much product out there. And, media and the systems only talk about the 1%, the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos. They're not talking about Michael and Beth. Because we are not enough system relevant. If you and I did some whatever craziness that we get all these followers and all these things, all of a sudden we're system relevant and we get offered. The first viral video, one of the first groups that had a viral video, they made 10 million views and they got a check for $187. Then later, because they proved themselves to the system, they got advertising and they made money. But the first time, what is if you only have one time 10 million viewers, And so it makes no sense.
Well, that's because I was thinking earlier when you were talking about how kids grow up in the system, and I'm thinking about how many kids, like myself included, who derive their worth from how well they fit into the system, right? Like we either are not part of the tribe, or we're not doing well in school, or we're not, like, our parents never seem to be happy. So we come to adulthood feeling worthless. And then if we actually do step into our worth and then learn how to be and be present and create and do things, then if we go out and put that into the system, then there's all that potential to feel worthless again.
I know. It's a constant shame loop. It's a shame loop.
Yeah.
And you make that very clear. But I wasn't even thinking that you had the second time. It's, you find yourself, right? You find yourself, let's say 35, 40. You find who you are a little bit. You get a little taste of it. You unveiled enough of the crap that you're saying, okay, I am worthy. It really doesn't matter. And then it goes, and let's say you meet somebody when you're 40, you go right back into the system. Do I have, as a man, do I have to support the woman? All the system defined, do I have to do this? Do I have to be the savior? Do I have to be the woman? I want to be the princess. Am I pretty enough? I mean, it's all these system defined things that make us separate, not come together. You know,
Right.
if system wouldn't say, hey, it's about money, it's about looks, it's about, you know, and the crazy thing is we're so in the moment to survive, we are not even just about women, right? All the different women, they don't do it with men because it's still a chauvinistic society, also system defined. It's not the guy's problem. It's just a system. We created the system where this is. But look at the beauty of women. In the 20s, there were no breasts. Then there were big breasts. Then there was hourglass figure. Then there was this. Then there were blondes. Then there were darkness. Now it's big booties. I mean, it's what just on the physical, you're born with what you're born with.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
what, and the
hundreds of
beauty
years
is that
ago.
everybody's different, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, hundreds of years ago, the big overweight was the look because that was the hard to obtain thing because you
Yeah,
only were fat if you had money to buy the food. Now
exactly.
it's easy
Yeah,
to get
whatever.
fat.
Yeah.
So it goes back the other
No,
way.
no. And I mean, it was the essence of what it is, a woman, you know.
Mm.
Uh, and it changes systemized. It doesn't change. So people want to belong. So let's say I wanted to have really skinny woman and heavy woman are all the fat with big booties and everything. I could not. I would think, oh my God, yeah, I like this, but I wouldn't do that. By the way, I would not do that anymore. I would just go for what I like.
Right.
But if I was like 30 or something, you know, in that age, and then I say, oh my God, I like this, but I have to actually get something that I don't like, that I'm part of the tribe, because tribe always trumps. Because, you know,
Mm.
because you are DNA driven to the whole.
Right.
Because there is where diversity happens. That's where we actually see the power. The more people, that's why you have power when you have in groups and stuff. So
Mm.
we are driven to the whole, but the system says, no, you got to be a special way, which divides us again. That's stress. Static versus fluid, you know,
Mm.
and see what happened.
We do that with our homes and stuff too. Like, oh, I've got to have the big house or the certain car to be
Exactly.
accepted. And when
Yeah.
maybe we don't care. I remember when, because I quit my job as an engineer to become a coach. And there was a time where money got really tight after that. And I told my husband, like, I'm okay if we go live in a trailer.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
do that if we need to. But he was so in this, no, no way. But we're right. If we're in the flow of it, we're in just our natural present state. When do we have enough? Like, it's easier to see, I've got enough, it's okay, and I'm provided for, and I'm good, right?
Yeah.
Ah. Do you think that you recognize when you look at art, and whether that's literally a painting or movies
Yeah.
or even videos or books, can you recognize when somebody's essence is on the screen or on the paper? Like, is that a feeling of, like, does it resonate
Yes.
with you different?
And I think this is the magic.
Mm.
I think the system can too. So when it's like a skill. The more I'm bringing in from the non-physical into the physical, I get a skill. You know,
Mm.
if you start anything, you can't run a marathon tomorrow, but if you say in 2 years I'm going to run a marathon, you can build yourself up. You can get that skill, how to, you know, use your energy and everything. So when you constantly in and out, you know, physical to non-physical, and you play that
Mm.
interaction, you get clearer. You're not getting better. You're getting clearer. There's no better or worse in art. You're getting
Right.
clearer in your how to translate that communication.
Mm.
And because I said the piece of art, the music, the whatever is the product of that interaction, the clearer you get the interaction, the more it is recognized, because we all one.
Mm.
So the oneness, the people liking that, is something especially that is recognizable for everyone. So you don't need to be in a deep state to recognize this person is valuable. You just feel it because they have something, and or they have star power, right? You're thinking these guys are aligned. It's not their fault. They're not aware of it. But because of their birth, their matrix or whatever, they are recognized. And that's what's called that's what everybody thinks, oh, this is magical. And that's why in the system, Kim Kardashian is more valuable than you and I, She has, and it's true, she has more system value, but she is not worth anything more. Everybody is worth one because they exist. But she has more system value. And if we can get that, you might not have system value. You might not, let's say if you're gay, you might not be have not as much system value as a heterosexual couple, right? But you are worthy because you exist. And there's something about that worthiness, and you have to unveil why you are worthy. And that's what I say is self-awareness comes in, because you're aware with all your faults, how these faults fit to the whole, how this faulty human being, which everybody is, but it's faulty to find what puzzle piece you are. And that's when you're like 25, you have the human thing, pretty much you understand what it is to be human. And now becomes the work when you unveil, when you keep ripping off the things that you are not, that is system defined, that is generational defined. Everybody was a baker in your family, and you just fell into the baker business. Now, it's for you to find out, is that baker business what my essence wants me to be, or what my essence reflects my essence in the physical or not? And if you find it's not, and you want to be a surgeon, then you become a surgeon, but in the system. But you're still worthy. It has nothing to do if you're a baker or not. If you go in the baker thing, then you're not system relevant as much. You would be system relevant more as a surgeon, but perhaps that is not your calling. So it's you gotta compartmentalize. System work created by us. They're very static. They all go by financial principles. You cannot identify your essence with system values, because if I do, then I'm just a failure. I shouldn't be here. And that's what the shame we feel. That is the self-shaming then, that you say, oh, I don't have system value, I'm flawed. And you are not flawed, because nature doesn't make mistakes.
Right.
There's no extra, there's nothing, oh, we need to get rid of elephants, we need to get rid of ants, we need to get this. Nature doesn't do any mistakes. And because we are part of nature, our existence is proof that we are worthy.
And we're
not worthy more than anybody, not worthy less than anybody. Then we come into system definition. Right. So if it wasn't any systems, we knew that we are existing and we are valuable. And we have to find, exactly like in systems, what is our, but see there, and this is great, this is just coming in, this is the difference. It is important to find, for your fulfilled life, to find your human puzzle piece, not your system puzzle piece. The system puzzle, even if you find your human puzzle piece, the system puzzle piece will fit, will somehow you find it. So that's so important. It's not important that, and this is where the stress comes in. I want to be the good girl, I want to be the good boy. And then you try to, because you're driven, I need to be part of the tribe. And this is where the stress comes in, because it's good to have because living beings have stress. Living beings, every living being, in order to exist, they have to challenge. Every ant challenge, every ape, everybody has challenges. Tell me a human being that lived and said, I lived, I had no challenges. You have always challenged. If you have money, if you have system relevant, if you're irrelevant, you always have challenge.
Ah,
But system teaches you life should be sunny every day. And if it's not, we sell you a Ferrari, a pill, or a face job, right?
that's
And then,
exactly what it is.
right? And then you do that. You do that. You buy the Ferrari, you get the face job, you get the pills and whatever, and you're not happy. What does the system usually say? There's something inherently wrong with you, and that is the core of all shame. There you
Mm.
have it. You have the loop. And that's what art teaches me, art and creativity. And
Well,
that's it's good because I'm not system defined in science or anything, you know?
well, everybody needs to listen to this because I love what you just said about finding your human puzzle piece versus your
Yeah,
system puzzle piece because that we all you're so right. We all have that purpose, a thing that we came here to be.
yeah,
And when we reject it because of the system, we're not doing like we're flipping off the creator
yeah,
or whatever because we didn't do what we came here
yeah,
to give. And I love that I always teach like look for the contrast in your relationship to figure out who you are. Look for the contrast in your life to figure out what, am I the baker or am I a musician? Like what
exactly.
you can it's true that the not feeling happy gets you closer to your authentic self if you don't numb it with the Ferrari. Ah, so
And
good.
every relationship is a good relationship. There is no bad relationship
Yes.
because it is a reflection of you. It's a
Mhm.
reflection of you. And the more you come to this, the better your relationship. I know my relationship went violently aggressive or dissonant. Uh, and now they get better because the more I
Right.
find myself, the more I accept myself. See, the acceptance of others is not because you don't accept yourself.
Mm.
This is another human thing. We always, what we do to ourselves. I mean, look at the people, the most aggressive people, and you see that proven in media all the time, always have dirt on their thing. It's always the ones that shame others. How
Yes.
dare you say that? How dare that get offensive? You, if you have people that defend themselves, you go after them if you're a journalist, because and if they can give you a humane answer, I made a mistake, which there's no shame in making a mistake. Mistakes are bricks for success. They're bricks for the road to success.
Right.
You're faulty. That's inherently human. But in system, faulty isn't good enough. It's never good enough. Mistakes are not good enough. That's
Mm.
why we say loss, and because everything is unfair, we say loss is negative growth. In the old days, we said you had a loss, you lost money. It's negative growth. Everything is going to be reworded to manipulate humans. And the sad thing is systems are not bad. We need systems. We need a tribe.
Yeah.
But they're created by other people that have also 3 kids and need to feed them. So and that's why this is great, because to bring it together with the creativity, we're using our creative superpower to fight each other through a system. So the hacker creates a virus, right?
Mhm.
And then to make an antivirus software, they make money getting out, then get a better virus, more antivirus. It's a great money making machine, but both humans are wasting their life force to fight each other. Tax is the same thing. New taxes come, and people like to navigate the taxes around. Both humans are so blind and so idiot, like on a really dumb level, that we fight other humans and we waste our life force, our experience here. We don't smell the roses because we are busy fighting each other. I'm right, you are wrong. Who cares? What can we learn? Let's go on.
I know. Using, like, politics as an identity here in America, especially the past 5
Yeah.
years or so, is
Oh my God.
such a waste.
What a
Such a
waste.
waste,
What a
yeah.
waste of life. I could talk to you about this, for example,
Right.
awareness, right? Or you can say, I'm a Republican. And I say, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. We could fight each other
And get
and
nowhere.
waste all that energy. But we are so afraid of having a deep dialogue.
Yep.
And so it's easy to talk about. I always say with guys, it's easy to talk about sports because you don't talk about anything. You just to talk about figures and thing. And did you see the last thing? So it's a very safe conversation. And men are usually more sensitive than women, and they have a hard core. They can just shut it off, but then they get a heart attack. So the pressure goes out somewhere. Women are so much stronger because they talk about everything. But guys are, sports, business, NFTs, this all stuff. It's safe. It's safe.
Surface level,
I see how uncomfortable men get. When I talk to men about stuff like this, they don't even open up to this because they're afraid they're worse. They don't know as much. But I didn't know either. I wasn't taught. You just need to go into your body and feel it,
Right. Oh, I love that. Go into your body and feel it, because look at all this wisdom coming out of you now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm not trained. I'm not system trained.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a doctorate or anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying I am personifying the example of what I speak. I said art is a superpower. Second superpower, dialogue, which you and I prove right here.
Mm-hmm.
We exemplify how powerful an interaction can be. And the third thing is we adapt through a Zoom meeting, right? You in a different place where I am, and we adapt to that to have that conversation. So they have all three superpowers in one here. And if I just say to everybody, I say, just listen to this interview. There's nothing to do. There's no steps. I hate steps. Because I'm dyslexic. I can't remember the steps. What do I have to do? First, you do this. Second, do this. It's good in a process of bottling or any system things, fabricating. There is this and this. You have to be careful that this step is before that and whatever. But in human, you shouldn't. And we try to make a system for how to get to that. And we never get to it because the get to it is in the future. So if I say, I'm going to do this to be successful, never works, because you always will do it to be successful. You will push the future forward.
Will be. Yeah.
Why can't I be now successful and look at my success and try to unveil it right now with you? Why do I have to wait and say, I'm going to do this and then get followers? I don't care about the followers. I say, what is the best that I can do in the moment? If people, we do something of human value, they will find this episode.
Yes.
Right?
I agree. And
there's no stress. There's no Beth. There's no stress. We're not stressing each other. I hope you do. I'm not thinking, oh my God, I hope Beth does a good editing job that we gotta get this out, and then we gotta get more viewers. But this is where we waste our human life force.
That's right.
Why do we want to do that, right?
No, I think I put a quote from the Tao in the front of my book, and it's something about like, once you do it, you just let it go. And I believe in that. Like, it's already, we were present in the moment. It's perfection.
And focus on the doing. Focus while you're doing what you're doing. Don't think about, don't be already, when I published that book, I've done 5 books and they haven't sold. They sell, but nothing great.
No, New York Times bestseller yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need those systems people to come promote our art.
Yeah, but the system, they have no idea. Yeah. That is the thing. In the old days, when you went to Madison Avenue, right, to the advertising agency, they guaranteed you, if you pay $1 million, you get return on your investment. They make you 2 million. So that was a system that actually worked for humans. But now there's no more promises or anything.
Oh, really?
What they promises you now is conversion, and there's soft conversion and hard conversion. Hard conversion is somebody actually calls you. Soft conversion is somebody gets engaged and watches your video. But that is nothing. That's because you know how many you scroll by. Every time you scroll by is a conversion.
Yeah, it's hard to get people's attention.
No, you can't, Beth. we have no time because we're wasting all that energy on systems. We have on system navigation, we have no time left to be. So even if I give you $1 million, you can't do more than you do now. It's not a money thing, because what it is a time thing. And that's why I think the systems, if we're not aware and change systems to become human adapt, we're becoming physical and leave the planet and have not gotten any awareness. Because we have to make systems human adaptable. Otherwise, we're wasting all the time to just navigate systems. It's the time that's the value. It's not the money. The time is the value and the time is not the value to make more system time. The time is to be human. That's why when people die, millionaires and billionaires, they never say, oh, I wish I would have gotten that high-rise building. I wish I wouldn't got another $1 million. They say, I should have been more with my dog. I should have been more playing with my family, with my kid, with my grandkids. Human. It's the human value that before people pass, they realize that. But we don't want to hear that either. That is common knowledge, what I just told you. And you know that, right? It's common knowledge. Before people die, they say, I should have been more in nature. I should have walked there. No, they're not saying, oh my God, I wish I would have gotten on the level of Elon Musk. I would have gotten like a thing. I wish I would have gotten this. And we know it, and we still get distracted and forget it.
Well, I hope that everybody that listens to this is reminded just what a the presence we give in our life that we take for ourselves too is just everything. Michaell, tell people where they can find you and get more of your amazing wisdom.
MichaellM.com, Michaell with 2 L's, MichaellM.com. And there you get my podcast, which is 20 seconds. I'm not taking any time.
I love that.
20 seconds, because I couldn't do it. Honestly, the honest thing is I'm dyslexic. I couldn't do all the managing that you do, So I did just say, but I also believe at the same time that I can condense it to a wisdom, to a quote with a question, and you will get the power of art. You will get the power of what it is to be human. And that's called the smart of art, the power of art and creativity.
That's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
Let's get those bite-sized pieces in. That's all we need.
Exactly. We have no time anyway. So, I hope I hope when you watch this episode, just watch it a couple times, because there's so much in it. We pumped this in, and Beth and I really condensed that. We made a brew, but it is really humane. It's really just reflect on your humanness and give it some value, because a system should never be killing people in wars or anything. It should never be above. We created the system,
And it shouldn't be killing them. Shouldn't be them killing themselves either.
Exactly.
To try to match with it.
Yeah.
I love this. We could do a whole series. You're fantastic.
Yeah, just anytime, Beth. Anytime.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Beth.